So guys, just send in a tweet real fast. 1 second. All right. Sorry guys, I was sending the tweet to let people know. Welcome everybody that's joining. Let me see here real fast, scroll back. All right, we got Kim in here. Alejandro. Let's see here. Can we get Kim in? Oh, what's up, Tyler? Hey, Kim.
Aloha.
Oh, Adriana's on.
Awesome.
Through here. How's everybody doing today?
Doing good. How about you? How did you do today? You're having a good day?
Yeah, it was a good day. Nothing to complain about.
Good. Awesome. I'm excited. We have Maiwand here today who's going to get some coaching. He's someone I coached on my Instagram Live in the past, Ricky, and I think you're going to really dig him. He's a really...
I think I know who it is. I think I might have watched that episode. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
Oh, I see Margaret's in here. I'm seeing all the people that have been on the show already are in here. It's awesome.
That's awesome.
So we're going to get started here pretty quickly, guys. Real fast, though. Before we start, if you haven't and you have the ability to, please share with like Twitter, Instagram, and whoever else you can. We'll just get as many people involved with this as possible. Hopefully more people can find value in it and then spread the word.
Absolutely. Yeah. And if you guys haven't signed up yet for Method and Mindset, Ricky and I have a website with over 7 hours of really valuable content. And I have 4-hour videos in there about egos and gremlins, fear, failure, FOMO, discipline, all of those kind of topics. And, that's 4 hours. And then Ricky has, I think, the balance of those, what is it, over 7 hours, right?
Yeah. There's a webinar in there for earnings preparation. There's I don't remember exactly which webinars we put in, but there's a lot of good stuff. Fear of failure. What's that?
I know, right?
Who, me?
That's good. But you know what? For some people, Ricky, it's actually they experience the opposite, fear of success.
Yeah.
I can't say how many, especially those who are coming from kind of, middle class backgrounds or lower middle class, success is actually pretty scary to them. And I myself went through that. When I first started working in finance, I was having a really hard time because I was making a lot of money and I was petrified I was going to fuck up basically and lose it all. And so I wouldn't get myself, I wanted this lipstick that was very expensive, but I wouldn't let myself buy it. So fear of success, it's a real thing. It's a real thing.
Yeah. No, I definitely have talked with plenty of people who have voiced it. I feel like that one, as opposed to fear of failure, is one that's more hidden. People don't realize they have it. People realize they're scared to fail.
Totally agree with you. It's it's almost like you would look like an idiot if you said you were afraid of success. So you don't even admit it to yourself. But honestly, because I think the most frightening thing about it is that you potentially will lose your tribe. You'll lose your people, your boys, your girls, because they'll be feeling, you're afraid they might feel who does he think he is? Or who does she think she is? And so you just kind of want to keep it dialed back because you don't want anybody to leave you or not like you anymore, love you anymore,
Yeah, nobody wants to lose their tribe. All right, well, I think Kim just let us know who she is. She is obviously the queen of the bean between the eardrums. She's the Wall Street coach. She's worked with top Wall Street execs, Fortune 500 execs. She's very, very knowledgeable in all things that are mental. If I missed anything, please fill in the gaps for me, Kim.
And you know, I just want to say, Ricky, thank you for that very, very nice and generous introduction. But I think more than anything, there's nothing that I am ever advocating to people that I myself didn't have to learn and didn't have to journey through. And that's why I do what I do. And I get emotional just thinking about it, because all these tools are the tools I had to find for myself to get up and out of the potholes or the pits that I was in. So these are not like tools that I think in theory are good. They are all ones that I have had to use myself to get free of so much bullshit and crap from, you know, different things I've experienced in my life. So it's not like I'm just talking like this is good for you. No, this worked for me. It may or may not work for you, but give it a shot because it might save you some pain and suffering. That's all. And what do I want to say about Ricky, everybody? I just want to say he's just incredibly down to earth and real. And that is what you guys need to be listening to. He is never trying to make himself look good. He's always willing to tell you what holes he's fell into or the challenges he has. And those are the kind of teachers you guys want to really listen to, because the authenticity is what you need more than anything. So
Yeah,
there's also much other accolades
I appreciate it. You know what's funny is like, it's not like I go out and make a conscious effort to be authentic. It's just, but to hear it acknowledged does mean a lot, because like that's one of those things I never ever want to like do the opposite of. But thank you very much.
You're welcome. It's the truth. So, that's why I think people feel safe coming into this room with us, because I do think we're both authentic, and I think we both also have big hearts, and we really want to be a contribution to people. I think people, we've talked about this offline, people have really good bullshit detectors. And they can tell when people are coming from another place, and that's, you know. But look, our authenticity, Ricky, you tell me if you agree with this, we paid a big price for that authenticity. Like, it doesn't come naturally to people because most people are caught up in the way the world thinks of them. But I think you and I have done enough work on ourselves. We're like, what we think of ourselves matters more than anything, you know? But that took some pain and suffering, at least for me, it did, to get there. So, you know.
Yeah, it comes a little like I notice as I get older, it's easier because people's opinions matter way more less. So, guys, if you're joining us for the first time, if you've never caught a Method and Mindset episode, me and Kim bring on a guest, which we're about to do here just shortly, and we coach them on both things they may be struggling with on the mental side of it and also on the technical side of trading, because we both, well, hopefully everybody understands that you can't just have a technical approach to trading, right? Just doesn't work.
No.
Unfortunately, we're not all robots. And
I would love to be a robot. Do you want to be a robot?
No, I don't. But yeah, so we're about to bring on our guest, Maiwand. Let me check the waiting room and make sure he's in here. Yep. All right. And while we're waiting, I'll let you guys know, last two weeks ago when we did the last episode, my wife tried calling me in the middle of this. And so my phone like went schizo. So like if that happens, like I can't turn my cell data off because I have a daughter who's coming home from school right now. So I got to leave my phone on. But if anything happens, you guys know I'm not leaving you.
Yep. Good. That's awesome. And if that ever did happen, God forbid, you know, I will stick around. Between the one of us will be able to stay in the room.
There you go. I tried to bring Maiwand on. Let me try one more time.
Sure. Okay.
Hey, Maiwand, I sent you the request. Check and see if you can hop in.
He just said, let me send that request again in the
okay.
notes. So maybe he's going to try again. I think Maiwand is using a different account than he usually uses because of the Wi-Fi issue he has where he is. So
okay.
Because sometimes is a scammer, right? A person who's taken our identity, but not today because Maiwand just knew he had some trouble with internet. So I think he just wanted to use a different
maybe we'll get the fake be the story in here this
Right.
week.
I know.
He actually came on my he came on Instagram live with me last night.
I
We
saw
hung out.
that. That was so awesome. Doesn't look like it's working. Sorry. I'll keep trying. So Maiwand, maybe are you following True Trader? My one thought, Ricky, are you able to send him a request?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you did? Okay. Maiwand, can you send in a request? That's in that circle, I think, at the top left. I don't know. Maybe that won't work. All right, we'll give it a shot. Well, hopefully it does. It could be the Wi-Fi, maybe, Maiwand. Sometimes that affects the ability. I know it's oh, there it is.
Here we are.
All right, we're good.
How's it going, guys?
How are you,
Sorry about
man?
that light behind me. Yeah. Switch over here.
Good.
How you guys doing?
Doing good. How you doing, Maiwand?
I'm not doing so well, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. I basically kind of had like a blow up day. You know, it wasn't my worst trading day loss ever, honestly. But the thing that makes it a blow up day is that now my account is like severely under PDT, which as like so I'm scalping, and so I kind of need the size to be able to size into stuff and be able to take multiple shots per day. And I basically just lost that. You know, it's pretty much like I basically need to double my money after hours to be able to get back to over PDT. Yeah, so not doing so well.
So one thing, as soon as it's a red flag whenever I hear anybody like that took a big loss, the first thing they talk about is what they need to do to make it back. So one thing you have to understand is that like you don't ever make the loss back. You just make new money through new wins. That money's gone. Like I had a friend actually explain it to me really neat. He's like, dude, you play poker, right? I was like, yeah. He goes, if somebody at the table takes your chips, you don't go into the next hand going, I want my chips back. No, you're playing somebody else, right? So like those chips are gone, but you're still in the game.
Yeah.
So it's not about making the loss back. First, it's about recentering, getting your feet back under you, and doing things from a sound foundation. And then you can focus on getting back to where you were in a sense. Like I don't like to say that because then it sounds like I'm saying make that loss back. I'm not saying that, but like because right now my guess is you're shook. Internet.
Is he breaking up for you?
I think that's Ricky's internet. Yeah. Ricky, your internet.
Okay. I mean
right now, you can hear us.
Is it mine? Okay.
It seems like it's working now.
Okay. Well, if we're working, we'll try to work with this. Yeah. In fact, let Kim start because I have a feeling like a lot of what you're gonna need is gonna be how to come at this without like revenge in the back of your head or you know, it's got to be done a proper way.
Yeah. You know, so first thing I want to do is just acknowledge you, Maiwand, for not letting the ego get the best of you because the person we were going to have here today, everybody couldn't be here. And I hit up Maiwand just a few minutes before we started. And he, you know, very straightforwardly said, I kind of don't want to come on today, Kim. Oh, and maybe now he's just laughing. No, I'm just kidding.
Kim, you scared him off.
While he comes back in, I'll just explain. Because of the loss, he was like, Kim, I don't think today's the day for me because I really am not okay with this.
I messed up again, guys. Sorry.
Okay. So I just wanted to just acknowledge you because you're in a bad space. I reached out to you last minute. You were like, no, I'm not coming on. And maybe another time. And then I did some coaching via text and I just said, think about it. Right now you're getting, the universe is putting an opportunity in front of you. And the ego that feels ashamed, which is normal for everybody whenever failure happens and loss happens, is winning if you don't come on. You're getting this opportunity out of nowhere that only came because somebody canceled. And you said, okay, I'll do it. Maiwand, do you know how incredible that is? That's why you're going to make it through this. Because you can deal with those hard truths. You can hear that your ego is kind of driving, and then you're willing. You're every time we've ever talked on Instagram Live, you've always been willing to hear the hard truth, and you heard it today, dude. So you already took a step towards your new future by saying yes to this today. So good fucking job.
That's nice. Thank you. Appreciate it.
And let me add one thing. Coaching someone that's crushing it and really just hitting their stride is nowhere near as useful as coaching somebody that actually just experienced a down day, or like it's just the way it is. So like if you had that kind of day, I feel like Kim's right. Like the stars aligned and you got this shot to be on this, and hopefully stuff that we're able to talk about today can be put to use immediately and get you right back up on your feet.
That would be nice. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Adriano, I've been with True Trader doing webinars for them for quite some time. And of course I met Adriano, who's in the room right now. He's like, the founder of this platform, but I never really knew his story, and bits and pieces of it. But recently, Benito sent me the link to his story, and it's about a great loss. It's about this tremendous upset that happened. But I don't know, and this was something we were talking about, Ricky and I, offline. We don't know one amazing, great. Oh, you know who was talking about this yesterday? I talked to so many people.
Everybody's going up. Yeah.
Jack Schwager. I interviewed Jack Schwager yesterday for my podcast. And Jack, I asked him, what did he see in common? Because his first book was Market Wizards, right? Featuring all these, veteran traders. And then he has Unknown Market Wizards that just came out, which he's just met the best traders out there, right? Because of him doing this for years. I said, what's the one thing that they all have in common? There's got to be one thing. You know what he said?
Blew up an account.
Huge account. Exactly.
Yeah. I blew up like $1,000 account when I first started. So there was no discipline, no process, no anything. But this, I would say, this is definitely this is a hard hitting one. This one hit hard. Yeah.
But that means you are a trader.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't realize how good I had it. I had it so I was making 2, 3, 4K a day. I was making 5K a day sometimes, just it was nothing. Yeah.
So who says it's over?
That's true. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to give up. It sucks, but I'm definitely not going to give up.
I want you to dig deep right now, and I want to understand, because you truly know what happened. What got in your way that this loss took place?
It was no matter how much I was making, it just wasn't enough. No matter how much I was up, I'd be up even today, I was up $1,000 today at one point. Every day that I had a multi huge loss day, I was actually up, or I had the opportunity to be up that day, multiple thousands of dollars, But I didn't want that. I wanted to have that huge, humongous win that would just give me that huge dopamine rush, and it would feel great. And then that was it. And I wasn't accepting anything else.
What's that word called, Maiwand?
I don't know.
Starts with a G.
Greed? Yeah. Greed. Yeah, it was greed. Yeah. 100% greed. Yeah, I got extremely greedy. Yeah.
Okay, so ultimately what we've just learned is that it's not your pattern.
Is that my pattern?
It's not your pattern. It's greed that got in your way.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I know how to trade. Not to be cocky or anything, but I know how to trade. I have really great executions. I get in low risk. I get out. Restore. I know what I'm doing. I'm buying intraday consolidation breaks on multi-day trend breaks. It's really nice. I have a really great strategy. Dan Irish is inspired by Dan Irish, but I wasn't doing that today, and I wasn't doing any of that today. So.
And every day you don't do it that way, and you let greed come in and in the driver's seat of you. And greed is also greed is the simplistic name for it, but because you and I go way back, and we've talked about this book before, Taming Your Gremlin, that sounds to me like greed manifested because your gremlin started to get a lot of airtime in your head.
Yeah.
So what's that gremlin? What was that gremlin's gun that was being held to your head?
I don't know. It was like it was nice to have it, but for some reason I had it in my head that like, oh, well, I don't really have a lot of money if I can just like go and buy a BMW or something, or just do some dumb, stupid financial decision, or like move somewhere like New York City and pay like an absurd price for rent, you know. And it's like, it was like at this point now, you got to think about it. I wasn't telling anybody I traded before, but then now it's like the only thing I do. That was my sole source of income, and so now it's like people ask me, "What do you do?" And it's like I can't just say I'm a college kid. It's like, well, I'm a trader. I trade. That's how I make money. Everybody looks at you like, "Oh, you're a trader." Like I don't know, like you're this kind of big baller, you know. And it's like I really wanted to fit into that role so much. I was spending money. Like I was making 250,000 a year. I make 20K in 2 months. Yeah, I'm gonna live like I'm spending 250,000. That's totally how that works. It's not how it works. If anybody's sarcastic,
Well,
but
so
like,
let's pull that up a little bit just to see and find out like what is going on inside that is telling you you're not enough without that image.
I don't know. It's like I always just wanted to be a profitable, like consistently profitable trader, which I was for a little while, for a couple months. But
Yeah,
and it was like I just
that's
felt
not
like
what you just said though. What you just talked about was not a consistent profitable trader. You were talking just now about things like spending money makes you look like a baller, having a BMW makes you look this, makes you right.
I
That's
guess
not
just recognition of status,
recognition.
Uh,
I'm not even going to say status right now. I'm just going to say recognition. Would that not be one of the basic universal needs that I've also talked to you about?
yeah, many times. You've talked to me about that many times.
Right? So if everybody has a human need to be seen, everyone has a human need to have significance, to be respected, to be understood. But I know, Maiwand, that you have friends who know how to see you and understand you. Me, for one. Like, you could have reached out to any of these people when that gremlin started to get loud and spend time with friends, even over FaceTime, even over the phone. These human needs do not go away. And if we don't get them met, they wind up coming forward in a really costly way. I don't know how much money you lost, but take that dollar amount, and that's how much it cost you to attempt to get this need of significance being seen met. But had you just gone out and hung out with some friends who were like, Maiwand, you're such a riot, you're always so easygoing, you would have gotten that need met.
Yeah, it's funny because when I'm doing bad, I actually pull myself away from my community. Like I don't talk to anybody. I didn't say anything in the chat today. It's like we're all buddies, I'm friends with all these people, like really good friends. But I just I didn't even say anything the whole day, Yeah.
We have to listen to those needs that we have inside of ourselves so that we can be assured of getting them met. But if we ignore those needs, then they are going to demand to be met in a very costly way and not even successfully get met.
Yeah. It's funny how it all comes back to the same thing,
It all comes back to the same thing.
Yeah.
And you are so courageous, dude, and so incredibly egoless. You have such an ability to be egoless, Maiwand. Your courage to come into this room with all these people 5 minutes after you're smarting from the loss, that takes balls, man.
Thank you, man. It was tough. I'm not gonna lie. I really didn't want to do it, but I felt like it was like, why not? What's the worst that could happen?
All right. So I think the key here is paying more attention to what you need and getting them met in less costly ways than thinking that account or that money in the bank or that car in the fucking driveway has a goddamn thing to do with who you are, dude.
Man.
Do you think I would pay better attention to you when we come together like this if you had a fancy car?
Probably not. No. Yeah, no.
And you know me, you've come into the Instagram lives with me a bunch of times. Do you really think that's what makes me think a person is cool?
No, I think it's pretty lame. If you think that that's what makes a person like, oh, this guy's so cool because he drives a, it's like that. That's pretty lame, actually. But I don't know, it's just some, I guess the gremlin part is just some deep part of me is just like clinging on to that idea that like, oh, it's like money is everything, you know, it's like you have money, it's like all these things. I don't know, like it's like it's substitute for personality, I guess, you know?
It's just the gremlin. It's just the gremlin having hijacked you and hijacks everybody. I mean, look, we're all being fucking brainwashed every day. Madison Avenue spends billions of dollars to convince us that once we get that watch, we will be the man. You guys, we're constantly brainwashed with that shit. So it's hard not to get caught up in it.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny too, right? Like Maiwand's talking, he's got friends, right? But it's not his friend's opinion of him that he cares about. It's for some reason, it's people he never met in his life wants them to think highly of him. And like you just said, bro, like the people that look at a Rolls Royce and think that the person sitting in the Rolls Royce is somehow more worthy than them just because of the car they drive, that's a dumb opinion, right? Like that is silly to think that your self-worth is tied to your financial worth, right? The two are completely separate. There's very wealthy people that are very shitty people.
And there's poor people that are very shitty people.
Exactly. Well, but there's also people that, you know, from every income bracket out there that are some of the most genuine, amazing people you'll ever meet.
That's right.
And you just got to not care about strangers' opinions of you.
Man, that's something that I find myself, that's something I've always kind of, in my journaling and like just different reflections, I feel like it's like, that's always something that kind of comes back as something that I really got to either work on or accept, or I guess just continually think about.
It's understandable because most of us have been taught that external validation is what we need. And we do need it to some extent. We are not an island, but we ultimately have to have that internal validation that our worth and our worthiness is not dependent on these accoutrements, so to speak. They are based on our heart and the way we live our life. And, you know, are we kind to the waitress who's having a shitty day? Like, those are the moments that our worthiness should be coming from, and from those who make a difference in their lives. Like you having that room, and the guys that came into that little room you guys created when I talked about you having a buddy, that you don't even think about Maiwand, the impact you're having maybe on their lives. You being vulnerable to them today and asking them for help, what if that made them finally feel like they could be a contribution to you and lifted them up from some kind of depression or frustration today?
Yeah, that's true. I've helped people like I'm in a couple of the chats. Like I've helped people with technical stuff, you know, like actually understanding some of the technical aspects of trading as well too. And it's like that definitely felt good, you know, definitely felt good to contribute.
Maybe that's the place you go when you're not feeling seen. Go be a contribution someplace and see if that doesn't nourish you.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah,
Ricky,
there's a lot of fulfillment. There's a lot of fulfillment in adding value to other people's lives. 100%. I mean, it's exactly what me and Kim do these for, right? It's why I'm over at True Trader. It's why Kim's got all the stuff she's got going for her going. I mean, yes, she runs a business, but do you think she would do that if she didn't get the value, the fulfillment out of the actual helping of people? Like that's the difference, right?
Yeah, I agree. Kind of gives you something bigger than yourself to focus on, you know?
Agreed. That's Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? When you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, like that need is at the top of the pyramid, you know, that being a contribution. But remember, I'm not somebody who wants you to just be a contribution to others. I want you to first be one to yourself. Your ability to put oxygen on somebody else starts with your own oxygen. And you were struggling for oxygen today, and you thought maybe that was like fast food. If I get this money, then I'll feel a little better about myself. That was like fast food. We know how that ends. you needed to have a real nourishing meal. And so now put some, you know, template down, some kind of directions. Like when I start to feel this way and I start to think that my validation is external to me or my PNL, go have an alignment with a friend. Hey man, can I call you in a pinch? And you can call me in a pinch. Set it up way before this shit hits the fan.
Yeah, commitment devices. What's it called? James Clear talks about that. It's on the cabinet soon. That's what my max daily loss is supposed to be, you know, commitment device. But when I come back, I'm probably going to come back with a broker with an actual MDL that will force liquidate me out, you know. That'd probably be a good first step. But and then also, like, obviously, actually thinking about, like, recognition and stuff and the needs and all that kind of stuff and reflecting on that. But, yeah.
You got this, man. You're so brave to come in here today. Thank you for not letting that ego talk you out of it.
I appreciate your guys' advice. Thank you so much.
So I'm going to jump in and talk real quick about a few things. First, guys, I'm not a licensed financial advisor. Everything I'm talking about is for entertainment purposes only. It's not a solicitation to buy or sell stock. Hate saying that, but I have to. So I'm not sure how long you've been trading.
Me, around a year and a half. So since April 2020.
So I've been trading. It's like almost my 8-year anniversary right now, coming up.
Oh, nice.
And
yeah.
I'm still, and Kim's heard me say this. I know a lot of people on the live have probably heard me say this before. I'm a rookie. 8 years in, I'm a rookie. I show up every single day to the market as if I know nothing. And it's probably the best place to approach the market from, because we all know what it feels like to think you know everything and then have the market have to show you don't. Now, I will say this. It's a lot like owning a motorcycle. Everybody can own a motorcycle, but you haven't really ridden a motorcycle until you've crashed it. So, yeah, it sucks. It sucks taking a big hit, but you can't even think that you were a trader until you deal with actually taking the hit. Okay? So a year and a half in, you're still really, really new. And I know that you've had your string of success, and I'm super, super stoked for you. That's amazing, because most traders don't even have that story, right? Most traders are like, I'm 4 years in, I'm almost break even. Somebody saved me. So congrats on like figuring that part of it out. But the problem with finding success so quickly and without having some of the pitfalls other traders have is that sometimes we grow quicker than we should, and then you end up,
Absolutely.
when you do make the pitfall, it's magnified. Yeah. So let's start with what stock got you today. Was it one stock, or was it?
I mean, okay, I'll give you the ticker. It's fucking GROM. It's just a chop. It was a chop vest. It's a chop vest. It doesn't fit my strategy. It was not my strategy. I was scalping a bunch of other tickers, I would scalp it. I'd be up to 3, 4, 5R, and then I'd be like, oh fuck, well maybe this is the one that's gonna shoot up and give me up 100R. You know how I was making my price targets? I was putting the amount that I would need to make to get over PDT, dividing it by the amount of shares that I had, and then adding that onto the price. It's like, oh, okay, there's my price target. You know, put a limit order up there, like thinking, I don't know,
like the stock gives a shit about.
Like the stock gives a shit what was going on.
I tell people that all the time about their stop losses. They're like, well, I want to risk $100, so I'll buy 1,000 shares and I'll set my stop loss 10 cents away. I'm like, because price cares about your 10-cent stop loss. Like,
yeah, you gotta wait for the support to hold on the bid. Like, you gotta wait for the support to hold on the bid or on the chart. You know, it's like that's where you base the risk, and then the farther you get, the wider it's gonna be. You know, but you can't just risk and get.
So at the point where it turned bad on you, were you just oversized, or did you end up? To it? You were
I was oversized. I was oversized. I was over trading. I've probably taken more trades today than I've ever taken in any day ever.
We'll come back to that, because that's a huge red flag in itself. In fact, Adriano, who's on here, will tell you, like, Ricky, sometimes you'll send me a chart and your executions give me anxiety. And those are the days I know I had a bad day, right? Like, why do you have 1 million bullets shot at the chart? But what I want to point out is this. So you are consistent and you're making good money, and you even said yourself, you're like, I just thought maybe this could be the one. But in the very same paragraph, you said it wasn't even my setup, it wasn't A plus. So like, okay, I don't disagree with swinging for the fences on an A plus setup. Wait for it. It will come, and you're going to know it. And you're going to go, this is the time when if I press the gas pedal and I fall flat on my face, it was worth it. But you never want to press the gas pedal on some subpar setup, fall on your face, and get up and go, shit, that wasn't the one to be doing that on. Like,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So, and like, I mean, you know, like you already voiced that you understand like max risk, and oh, I think my internet's dropping again. I don't know what's going on with it. It's
You're good. We can hear you now.
okay. I have like super high speed. I don't know what the heck this is. But it's like when I lost my train of thought. But basically, I know you understand risk because you were talking about max risk and get like a broker that'll pull you out of a trade. So like, was there a point where you were like, yeah, I should just pull myself out, and you didn't, and you overstayed? Or...
Yeah, absolutely. It wasn't like a huge bunch of one huge loss. It was just a bunch of paper cuts, refusal to take any profits when I was up on anything, you know, looking for the big win. And there was a moment where like my new rule is basically I had like a 2K max loss on one ticker per day that I felt like offered insane opportunity that might take me a few shots to really get. My R is 200, but I trade an interesting way where I need to take a lot of shots, but by doing that, I also have to keep myself safe and actually like if I get the perk and then it comes back down on me, I've got to stop out for break even to prevent myself from scalping loser. But when I do actually get to 5, 10, 20 R, it'll make up for it usually. And then I had 1K on all the other tickers and a 4K daily loss. And so I hit my 4K daily loss. And then I realized I'm like, fuck, well, now I'm $4,000 below PDT or whatever. And if I don't get my account value up to above $25,000 before the day ends, then I'm fucked, right? Like I'm going to be barred from day trading, you know, or I'm going to have to wait 3 trades a week, that would be like maybe one setup for me per day. I'm going to have to adjust my risk levels, basically, you know, and go for wider risk. But yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you this much. It sounds to me like it was one of those days where it was like there was probably an early red flag and then maybe a second red flag, but then things snowball, right? Like, you know, before you know it, you shouldn't even be messing around with it anymore, but you're sitting there, you know, teeth clenched tight, trying to grind it out, and it's like by the end of the day, you probably just feel completely exhausted. And defeated. And I'll tell you what this happens to me a lot. Not a lot, but I mean, I've definitely had this exact scenario that you're dealing with. And every single time it ever happens, I come back to like, dude, it's always about early identification, early pointing out that first red flag that you know leads to the next one, that leads to the next one, and just get the hell away from the screens. Like go for a walk. You wouldn't believe just like a 15-minute walk can just completely change everything. And you pull the one person who's able to fuck it all up, yourself, away from the command center to like just get that asshole away, right? Like, because I mean, it's that out-of-body experience where you're looking down at yourself on your trading desk and you're like, yo, as the risk manager of this firm, that guy's got to go. That guy has to get up from the desk.
You got to be the coach. In trading, you got to be the coach and also the person who's getting coached, which is why it's so difficult, you know? Yeah.
At least be the observer. At least observe.
And that's the crazy part. I was observing everything I was doing, and I can honestly say that I objectively was observing what I was doing. I knew exactly what I was doing wrong. I knew exactly the traps and mental, oh, I know that you're just in this because you want to make big money. There are clear signs that this is the top here, right? You can at least take some profits here, lock it up, move to the next one, see if you can get something. But no, I wasn't locking it up, even though all the screen time I have, I'm able to identify those tops and bottoms.
That was your voice. And the other voice that was driving your bus was that inner gremlin. So you were consciously watching that inner gremlin. But that gremlin, I think you just got to do more of the gremlin work, because that gremlin drove your bus right through that money. and
Yeah.
you were watching it and never fell out of his hands.
Yeah, maybe I gotta revisit that book. I bought the paperback version. Yeah, so.
All right, before you go, Maiwand, we're just gonna make sure everybody here goes to methodandmindset.com. Sign
Yes,
up,
go.
stay in
Go do it.
touch,
Yeah.
and volunteer if you.
If
want
I
to
can do it after blowing up, anybody can do it. Okay. Period. All right.
That's
I just
right.
fucking blew my
Hey,
shit up. You can do
Everybody likes a good comeback story, brother.
it. Let's hope that that's what this is. So
It will
yeah.
be. No. It will be.
Nice. I appreciate the support. It means a lot.
You rock, man. Thank you
Yeah.
for coming in today. So last minute.
Peace out, guys.
Stay
Have a good one.
tough. Let
All
us know
right,
how
take it
goes.
easy, Maiwand.
Bye.
So I saw quite a bit of commenting, so I'm not sure if there was like,
I know. I
I'm
saw
kind of
them too.
scrolling back a little bit.
I was
If
so
there were any
focused on him.
questions we could do real quick, but
Yeah, let's see.
I definitely, dude, big time respect to Maiwand for coming on like that.
Yes.
It's not easy to do and be vulnerable. But
That to me is the sign of somebody who has got it. Like he in 5 minutes changed his mind, like, and said no way, and then he said okay. I guess.
But
the
and just on
universe
top of that, it's just like, I mean, it's the best time to get some coaching.
I would agree. I would agree, but we feel so ashamed of the mistake. We feel so embarrassed with ourselves, never mind somebody else seeing it, that I think it's just really hard, you know?
Well, for anybody that's watching this, make sure you understand that like that is the norm, not the exclusion or whatever they say. It like everyone in this industry goes through huge ups and downs, and it don't ever be embarrassed or scared or ashamed to reach out to anybody in the community and put it all out there in order to benefit yourself, right? Like if you can get some help from somebody that you know has some experience or an edge in any part of the market, don't pass that up because your ego won't let you. So like big props to Maiwand for not allowing that to block him. And anybody out there that is going through that or feeling that, don't, because you're not alone at all.
For sure. And you know what, Ricky, I just stumbled into a comment from Margaret, and she said, I'm sorry, but it does kind of feel good to be with a baller, riding in a BMW with some nice clothes on a nice jet plane to nice off-grid location. Like, who doesn't? And I just want to say, yes, Margaret, there is no doubt. Luxury is beautiful. I've flown privately. It's the only way to fly. Like, I am not denying that wealth isn't wonderful and that we all desire it. All I'm suggesting is that if you don't have somebody who really cares about you in the midst of that, or that you really care about you, that stuff can grow cold quickly. If it's empty and hollow, JJ shares this. You know, JJ from Confessions of a Market Maker, right, Ricky? He talked about, he had all that. He had the beautiful house, the beautiful wife, the 4 or 5 cars in his garage, and he was looking out over this lake view, and he felt empty and cold inside. And he said that's when he knew, like, he had to shift things up and switch them around, because if you think the satisfaction or worthiness, you're going to finally feel worthy when you get that stuff. That's what I'm talking about, Margaret. Just to clarify, I'm not dismissing wealth or luxury or wonderful things, but don't think you're going to feel good about yourself once you get them. If you don't feel good about yourself when you're eating, you know, ramen noodles, I promise it's not going to change when it's, you know, filet mignon.
Yeah, 100% agree.
All right, so do you want to tell them about Method of Mindset, or I'll just tell you to go there, people, sign up?
Yeah, well, I mean, you guys hopefully have been there by now. If you haven't, www.methodandmindset.com. There's just a ton of free content. So here's the thing. You don't have to wait every 2 weeks for us to do a freaking Method and Mindset episode. You guys could just go watch hours upon hours of stuff that may answer questions you already have, and then you don't even have to wait. right? So
I agree.
it's
a good
there
point.
for the taking.
It's a good point. Keep you
There's
guys busy until you come back in 2 weeks.
Yeah, use your tools, people. There's tons and tons of resources out there. This is just one of many that we try to give. Use them.
This is
Kim?
tricky. This is really good.
Yeah, thank you, Kim, for your time, and hopefully we hear back from Maiwand soon, and he's telling us about how he's doubled his account.
Me too. I hope so.
All right,
Good to see everybody today. Thanks for joining us.
everybody stay safe. Peace.